Welcome back to the channel, everybody, on this beautiful Tuesday, overcast, rainy sky. I was wanting to try to get out today. I was out all day yesterday helping some friends to get ready for a trip. There's these two young ladies that I helped last year. They go on a yearly hike for more than a week, almost 2 weeks every year. And last year they did it here in Switzerland, and because of COVID, you really couldn't get out and that kind of stuff. So I helped them, even had them come to the business where I worked at to bring their packs and their equipment so I could show them how to pack it up correctly. And then afterwards, they sent me some nice photographs of themselves in the rain, hiking with the cows and stuff, and they had a great time. And they're leaving again next month to go to Italy, do the same thing, 12 to 14 days. Actually, they'll be crossing over the border, on the border in the mountains, actually. And they told me where, but I can't remember right now. Anyway, so I spent the day with them yesterday in some shops in Bern, because right now I'm not working at a shop at the moment. I'm working on getting all that stuff sorted out. So in the near future, I can start helping physically, when it comes to products, that kind of stuff. But brought them to a shop in Bern, a bit expensive, but a really nice selection of lightweight stuff for hiking, that kind of stuff. And they got themselves another poncho and one from Sea to Sun, which is actually a nice poncho, but man, expensive, really expensive ponchos. And you can get a lot less expensive, but this was a really ultralight poncho. So they'll definitely save on space and weight, this kind of stuff. And a few of the items they got, I always, I basically told them, that they were wearing cotton socks last year. I said, listen, you need to get some wool socks, because first of all, wool, even when it's wet, it protects you from the cold, and it offers a lot more comfort. It dries very quickly, fire resistant, and if it was to get wet inside the shoes, because I don't necessarily like wearing Gore-Tex shoes, so I'll just wear wool socks, and you can just pull them off and wring them out and hang them up, and they'll get dry, and change them out with some other socks, But so they got themselves some socks, and they were looking at some waterproof trousers and some gaiters, but they're just so expensive. It's just really expensive. This shop was, sadly. So that's why I need to sort of get that sorted out myself. So a lot less expensive for the next year, as they prepare for the trip. And every year, and right now I'm waiting for them. I think next couple of weeks they're going to come back with all their gear, and then we're going to pull it all out and get them ready, again, and show them how to pack it up correctly and this kind of stuff. So I work with them every year on this so far. Now I do. Now it's 2 years now. So I'm looking forward to helping them some more. Really nice young ladies. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Anyway, so yesterday while we were looking around, there's always this conversation about canteens, this kind of stuff. And I have a lot of different kinds of canteens and cooking pots. And they did get themselves a really nice cooking pot that was big enough so they could actually boil enough water for both of them at the same time. And they got themselves a couple of cartridges, fuel cartridges, and we discussed that and the use, just kind of like that, and just to try to conserve on weight and time, because if you have a really good system that you can quickly boil water, it uses less fuel, usually much faster boil, and it's using less fuel, and you don't need to carry so much with you, So, but we discussed that, and one of the things that I like is and I have several of these, and this is actually from the company Source, and it's just a simple, flexible, water bottle. This is a 2 liter, and I have a couple of these. And although this one, I don't know where it's at, but I usually put an elastic around it and go around so I can actually store it this way. And then while I'm hiking, I'll, at the end of the day, if I can get some water, I'll fill these up and then replenish my canteens and drink from these right here, and cook from these. And then the next day, if I can replenish them, I'll replenish these right here, so I have that reserve water. And I have the ability, I can carry a lot of water, but I have 2 of these. That's 4 liters plus another liter, either an Nalgene bottle. But they actually decided to go with just regular water bottles, PET water bottles, and it's not a bad idea. Actually, it's a much cheaper idea. The only problem with them, of course, is that they can be they can they can break down, quickly. You can, if you do some crazy movements with them, you can spring a leak. The plastic can bend, but in general, they're actually it's a great idea. It's a really good idea, and one that I definitely suggest. I haven't done it myself when it comes to long range hiking, but I have done it on day hikes. I've just thrown a plastic bottle that I bought at the store in my rucksack, and carried that, and it works, works just fine. You can reuse them. Why not? I think it's a great way of going. I think a lot more people are doing it now, and a lot more people need to continue doing them. And they're a lot lighter weight than your traditional Nalgene bottles or even your canteens and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we also talked about, both of them are coffee drinkers, and I was talking to them about this product right here, which I got my hands on when I was in Germany last year on vacation with my son. I bought a couple of these, and it's funny. This one goes out. It expires next month. No, actually expired last year in July, which is sort of funny because we were on vacation in August. But my son tried one of them, and he said it was good. I don't drink coffee. But I did get a couple of them, and I do offer them to people, to try out for me, to let me know how they work out. And it's actually pretty good because on the back side you have all the instructions where you fill the water and this kind of stuff, and it makes a pretty good brew. And you can choose different. This is a gourmet coffee from Colombia, hand roasted, so you can choose, and it's 2 cups, so that's not bad. If you're a coffee drinker, I'm not one, but it does look interesting, and it's award winning from Denmark. Actually, it's a Danish company that makes these right here. Something I definitely will look in doing in the future, because you can throw a couple of these in there. Now, the downside is, of course, you're not brewing coffee, and I saw a really nice little espresso pot, which is just enough for 1 cup. It was this tall. I took a picture of it, but very cute, very cute little thing. And I have a friend of mine who carries an espresso coffee maker with him that he's modified the handle from plastic to metal. Because you put it over the fire and it gets hot very quickly. He just uses a pair of gloves to take it off. But yeah, something else those girls hadn't thought about were gloves. They hadn't thought about carrying gloves with them. So we had a little discussion about that, and they had gloves at home they could use, which is always the best way to go. Before you go out and buy something, see what you have around you, that you can use. You'd be surprised. So anyway, I also picked myself up a couple more dehydrated rations that I found. I usually buy a few when I'm out and about. And I got myself some Cliff Bars, and I like the Cliff Bars. They're really good snacks, and they're really nice little hiking food, that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, I brought you here today, and I want to talk to you about my foldable Swiss. And I've done a video on this before. It's a foldable Swiss system for cooking. It's like a little pot, and it comes with, you pop it out. It pops out in the position, and then you build a fire, and it has a little bottom on it. You can see at the bottom it pops down, and then you have these 2 pieces right here, which you push through. You can push at different levels, depends on where you want to, how you want to cook your food on it. This kind of stuff you can use them as skewers, and you put it through it, and you have yourself. And what's really cool about them is that they're not the same length. These little things aren't. They're not the same length, so when you get one in, it's easier to guide the other one in. You don't need your wife or your girlfriend to help you. It's a joke, by the way. Anyway, and you pop them on both sides. I'll show you the result afterwards. Like I said, I've done a video on this before, and this helps when you can get them in there. And that's what it looks like, Well, I like this little thing. It's heavy, but I do like it. And I like the concept of it, especially if you're in an area where it's a bit wet. You can get the fire up off the ground a little bit. You can get it a little. But the problem you have with it is that getting a fire in it is you can get the fire going, but you need enough coals to cook. And the problem with it, because of its size and a lot of what you see around is spruce, spruce do not make good coals, okay, or pine. It burns very quickly, and by the time you have any coals, it's already burned out. So that's the problem I have with this system, is that. So what I've done, and I'm sure a lot of other people have done it, is I have charcoal. And I carry a bag of charcoal. It's a half a size bag, and in a Ziploc bag, or you can carry it in whatever you want to. And I also carry some fire lighters, this little bag right here. So I can throw this in my car, throw it in my pack, carry it with me for a day hike, and then I can put the fire lighters inside of it, put some coals on top of it, light it from the bottom, sit it down in place, and give it 10 minutes for the coals to catch up, And then you don't, with these right here, because you use a fire lighter, these little round things, you don't need to put any fuel, any more, like any alcohol or something like that on them. And I have a little lighter in there too. And yeah, it's a system I'm going to start using a bit more because I haven't used this as much as I'd like to, this system, because of the fact that every time I use it, I've used it in the past, you know, it's just a bit of a pain in the butt because you can't get the right fire lighting stuff, you know. You got to, and it doesn't get the fire going enough to use it. A friend of mine, he has a similar one, a lighter weight one, but from a secondary mark, you know. It's an aluminum one, and it worked fine, but it took a long time to get the fire going. And so I'm thinking, why not just carry some fire briquettes with you, you know? I mean, we run around looking for tinder and stuff in the forest. You can carry some of these with you. You don't need very many of them to cook, you know. A few of them will cook. You can even lay a steak on here, or a hamburger patty, or some chicken. You can do what you want to, and it'll hold on to that fire for a long time. Those coals will. So that's an idea I'm gonna try out. I was hoping to go out to the woods to make this video today, but because it's raining, it's been raining. We had hail this morning for an hour, which sounded nice on the windows, but I hope it didn't damage any vehicles. But yeah, this is it's this original Konzi Kocher from Switzerland, and I like it. I'm actually going to start, like I said, start using it more instead of what I've been using, which is just either building a fire or using a fuel canister with a stove, you know, a camping stove. So I'm gonna try that out a little bit, and here in next month I'm going on a 10-day hike. I've spoken about this with the association, and I'm going to take that with me for, like, at the evening we can, you know, if you can't build a fire, if you don't have a fire pit, you use this right here and cook with that instead of necessarily cooking with the stove. I'm gonna bring several things with me though, but that's just one of them, and we'll see how it works out. But anyway, so I just want to introduce you to that, an idea about that. I think it's a great idea. You don't have to carry a lot with you. I mean, this is a half a bag. I mean, there's a lot of them in there for several trips. I can put this inside my truck and have it available, or, you know, you can even put a whole bag of, I mean, a friend of mine, she carries a bag of charcoal in her back of her truck because, you know, she bought 2 bags and she happens to have a second bag. And yeah, it's a Weber charcoal, and it's actually very good stuff, actually. This is regular charcoal. And if you build a fire and you have a bunch of charcoal, you know, you can actually collect that up instead of, you know, let it cool down, put it aside, let it cool down, especially if some nice chunks. And you can actually throw that into a bag afterwards. And it doesn't have to be a plastic bag. You can put it into a cotton bag or something like that, or whatever, or a canvas bag or whatever, something that you can just zip, you know, tie up a little bit and carry it with you, you know. I put it in this bag right here, the Ziploc bag, because I have a bunch of them. And yeah, also presentation, like you can see a little better. But I don't think it's going to hold up very long with all the moving around with those charcoals in it. So I'll probably transplant the whole thing into another bag, like it is, but into another bag to sort of also, I mean, you don't have to worry about it getting wet, you know, because it will still burn. But yeah, it will keep it a little bit. We'll keep it drier, maybe together a little bit, and then I can use it on a trip. You know, like I said, it's coming up very soon. I want to get out and this next weekend I probably will be using it. A friend of mine coming over, and we're going to do a day hike in the forest here, and we'll sit down and make ourselves something to eat, some sausages or maybe a steak or whatever, or some food. You can easily cook on top of this with a pot, you know, and you can make a really nice meal. So just like cooking over the oven over a normal fire, but it's sort of contained, which is nice. And it does get hot, and you have to let it cool down, but it cools down pretty quickly. The stainless steel does, so it's not a problem. But anyway, it doesn't hold on to the heat the way fonte, we say, or cast iron does. But anyway, I just want to get that out to you, and hope you all having a good day, enjoying this week, and yeah, I'll get back with you very soon. If you could please, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. Definitely love to hear from you and hear what you think about this. And what do you do? What kind of do you have a kit? And I'd definitely love to explore that. Anyway, you all have a good day, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. And you guys take care. Goodbye.